Hello students, hope you are doing well. My name is Placida Tellis and I am going to handle the subject Big Data Analytics. The course code is 17CS82 and 15CS82. So before dealing with the course, let's see what does the syllabus contains. So Module 1 contains Hadoop Distributed File System, Basics, Running Example Programs and Benchmarks, Hadoop MapReduce Framework, MapReduce Programming, and Module 2 contains Essential Hadoop Tools, Hadoop Yarn Applications, Managing Hadoop Apache Hadoop, Basic Hadoop Administration Procedures. These two modules gives a brief introduction and brief explanation on Hadoop. Module 3 contains Business Intelligence Concepts and Applications, Data Warehousing, Data Mining and Data Visualization. Module 4 contains Decision Trees, Regression, Artificial Neural Networks, Cluster Analysis, Association Role Mining. And Module 5 contains Text Mining, Naive-based Analysis, Support Vector Machines, Web Mining and Social Network Analysis. So in today's video, we will see a brief introduction to Big Data Analytics and Hadoop Framework. So firstly, we will see what is Big Data. So your data has been classified mainly into three types. First one is structured data, second one is semi-structured data, and the third one is unstructured data. So structured data, as you already studied, is nothing but your tables, rows and columns, which we use is nothing but your RDBMS tool. The second one is semi-structured. That means your XML files, online files, where you give some PDF files, some Excel files, all those contains semi-structured data. And the third one is unstructured data, is nothing but your large images, large videos which you upload or which you download from your net. So those data is very large and complex. So all those data, also your semi-structured and unstructured data comes under big data, and these are very large and complex to handle. So it is very difficult to process using your traditional data processing techniques. That means your RDBMS tools like your Oracle, your MySQL, your SQL Plus and so on. So you need a different tool to handle these data. So we will see those different tools later on. So next we will see what are the three features, main features of this big data. Is nothing but your volume. The name suggests the size of the data. So your size of the data is very large because many, like I can give you an example. In 1 minute, YouTube uploads a video of 50 hours. So just imagine how much data has been uploaded into data and how those data has been stored in your data centers. The size of the data can be in the form of TB, otherwise PB or petabytes, exabytes or zettabytes. The next one is your velocity. Velocity is nothing but the latency of data processing relative to the growing demand of interactivity. That means latency is something but your speed of data generation is very high, because every minute or every second some other person will be uploading the videos and downloading the videos, and also texting, the liking some Facebook pictures or Instagram pictures. Each and everything has been stored in your data, in your big data. How to handle this, how to process this such kind of data is nothing but your velocity. Then variety and complexity is nothing but diversity of sources, formats, quality, structures. That means diversity means you're different, there are different sources for either sources something but your Facebook or your Google or your YouTube and so on. Formats are different because images, some data might be in image format, some might be in your MP4 format, some might be in what you can say is text format. The formats are different, quality is also different, some might be in MP3, some might be in MP4, and so on. The structure is different, and so the varieties, the sources, format, are everything is different. It's very so the big data becomes very complex to handle. So you need a difficult or a very good processing tool to process this data. So these were the three ways generally we use in big data, but later on, after as so as the big data has been introduced, or it has become very advanced now, there are some more features. Is nothing but veracity, that means uncertainty by data or ambiguity. For example, in your online in Amazon or Flipkart, you give some reviews to a mobile, you give 4.5 stars, you give 5 stars. So why do you give, there is ambiguity in that. Why do you give for what did you give this review 4.5? It's for the processor, it's for the camera, it's for what process? There has been ambiguities. That becomes, it's very complex. Why the customer has given such kind of reviews to this such kind of mobile or anything, whatever laptop you purchase in your online. Next one is variability. That means inconsistent data. Your data is not consistent here. The last one is value. What is the value of a data? What revenue you get from those data? What like if you upload some images, you upload some you search, otherwise you give some search in Amazon, Flipkart and all. What value does it give? What value does it give to an organization? All this comes under this big data, right? Next, as you can see, this diagram contains velocity, volume, variety. So velocity is nothing but your what is that, speed, some real-time examples, near real-time examples, periodic data, batch data, and volume contains volume nothing but your size of the data, MB, GB, TB, PB, and variety, it can be photos, web, audio, it can be database also, your tables, rows and columns, it can be unstructured data, it can be mobile data, and so on. Okay. So next, types of data available. What are the different types of data available to handle or to process? First one is relational data. Already you already know this, rows and columns, where we store our data in form of rows and columns. The tools which we use is Oracle, MySQL, and so on. And text data, where we store some text in a web pages, in your Google pages, web pages, or any kind of online pages. Then semi-structured data is nothing but your semi-structured nothing but your XML data. Graph data can be as your medical data, or some your map, Google map data, so on. Then social network, or you already know what are social networks data. Semantic web data, your semantics is nothing but your dictionary data. And streaming data, so your live streaming, your video, online video streaming, your YouTube videos, all those comes under this streaming data. So real life examples, as you can see here, companies tend to learn your secrets, shopping patterns and preferences. So once you search some for a mobile or for a laptop in your Amazon, your Flipkart, or any other online apps will be giving you some patterns or preferences. It will tell you purchase this is good, this is that, this it contains so much rupees and so on. How does it know that you want such kind of mobile, such kind of laptops? Because it has learnt your patterns of search, learns a pattern of your interest and so on. And also data analytics has help in election also. Who is going to win this election? For example, previous year US election. All those data analytics help to learn or predict who is going to win the election. So these are the few examples of big data analytics, why it is used, why it is widely used and so on. So next we will see what is Apache Hadoop. Apache is nothing but a top level project, open source implementation of frameworks for reliable, scalable, distributed computing and data storage. As you have seen what is Apache in your previous semester, it's a open source. Everyone are open to for a free implementation of the source code, as well as able to download the source code available in this organization. Now Apache has introduced a Hadoop. Now, Hadoop is nothing but a flexible and highly available architecture for large scale computation and data processing on network of commodity hardware. It means what? Large scale computation and data processing. As I told you earlier, big data is nothing but a large and very complex. So this Hadoop is used to compute and process the big data on network of commodity hardware. It means what? Commodity hardware is nothing but a small scale hardware. You don't need a supercomputer or you don't need a super hardware to process this large data. But this Hadoop gives you a flexibility to use any kind of small hardware to process the data. So that's the use of this Apache Hadoop. Next we'll see what is Hadoop. Hadoop includes. So there are main 4 components in Hadoop. First one is Hadoop Common. It contains libraries and other modules. As you know what are libraries, you have seen in your C and C++. It contains some libraries, built-in libraries and modules to execute any programs, execute any subprograms. The next we'll see what is HDFS. HDFS is nothing but Hadoop Distributed File System. That means it is mainly responsible to store the big data. How the data should be stored, in which manner, in which scheduling unit, so on. Next is nothing but Hadoop Yarn. Hadoop Yarn is nothing but yet another resource negotiation. That means it is responsible for job scheduling and cluster resource management. We can call this as a mini OS because it helps your data or Hadoop to say how to schedule the job given or how to manage the given resources. Like for example, how to process, how to retrieve, how to delete, how to insert, in which manner. All those scheduling thing is be handled by this Hadoop Yarn. Next one is Hadoop MapReduce. It's a purely programming model for a large scale data processing. So mainly Hadoop uses a Java programming language to program or to manage the data using this MapReduce. You can use other programming languages also, but mainly or widely used is Java programming. So these are the 4 main components. Hadoop MapReduce is for programming. Hadoop Yarn is for scheduling your jobs, given jobs, when and how to process your data. Next one is HDFS, where your data is stored, and Hadoop Common means it contains the libraries, inbuilt libraries given by the Hadoop Apache. Okay, so this is a main basic class on what is big data and why we use this Hadoop framework. Okay, hope you understood this class. Have a nice day. Thank you.